Hey guys, welcome back to Spooky Tuesday, a weekly podcast where we're breaking down all of our favorite slashers, thrillers, monster movies, and black comedies on the new scariest day of the week. I'm Sydney Thompson.
I'm Monica Haidt.
And I'm Chelsea Duff.
And this week, we're putting on a big smile for a second time because we're doing Smile 2. And if you've never seen it like me, this was my first forego into this sequel. According to IMDb, about to embark on a world tour, global pop sensation Skye Riley begins experiencing increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and the pressures of fame, Skye is forced to face her past. And this is great because it's also Pop Star Horror Month.
Yay! Woo! Yay! It hurts to smile like that for that long. I'll tell you that.
Just work it in where you can throughout the
think
episode.
I'm really good at it, actually.
I know, I agree. I think she is good at it.
You're really good at it. I remember when we did Smile for the first time, the first one, which, oh my God, didn't we do that like right after the election?
It was literally the day after the election because we were supposed to do day of, and then we're like, no, I want to watch election results. It'll be better to do the day after. Well, we thought it would be like the 2016 or the 2020 election where it would take multiple days to find out. You know what I mean? So we didn't think we would be weeping all day.
That was like so bad. Sydney had sunglasses on the whole time because she was crying.
Sydney refused to do this.
Wore my big gay hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really bad day. And I mean, I didn't really like that movie that much. So that was then. But this is now, you know, it's a whole new year.
I don't remember what I felt about that movie because, again,
I blacked out.
I don't remember. Like, I truly
it wasn't until later when I was washing the blood off my hands.
I even knew he was dead.
Oh, God, yeah. So, yeah, if you want to hear a really raw episode of the podcast, I urge you to go back to our Smile 1 episode. We'll link it below.
Yeah. I mean, I'll do the knives out of fives on that one later, but I will say, I think we all felt medium on it, but Monica and I had seen Smile 2 already, and so we knew that it was important groundwork, which was what was really crucial about it.
Totally. And I remember, I wish I had watched Smile 1 again for this, but also
I wanted to also.
No.
I also wish that I watched it again as well.
I watched selective bits. I went and looked at like some clips.
I wish I had watched it so I could understand the transfer a little bit better, which we can get into in a second. But I'm also really happy for myself that I did not put myself through it. Because one, I don't like that movie that much. And two, like, I forgot how scary these ones are. And you can agree or disagree if you think it's scary. I get it. It's not the type of horror that everybody likes. But there are some, like, really graphic, like violence, like horror shit happening in this. There's some gore that is like the most gory shit we've seen on this podcast in quite a long time. Like, we just haven't done anything that gory in a minute.
Eyeball burst last week.
Oh yeah, what did we do last week?
Opus. And Emily Katz gets all explodey and he pokes her eyeball and it bursts.
Oh, that's not nearly as bad as this. Come on. That's not nearly as bad.
I don't know. I think that one specific bit of that movie is fun and gory. And that's like the general gore for the
there's
film,
the one time in that movie. This movie, it happens like 4 fucking times and it's so gruesome. And also, the jump scares in this are so effective, at least on me, the jumpiest queen of all time. But usually I don't fucking react very much when I watch shit at home. But I just have had a very stressful last couple of days. I've been sick, and I watched this before bed last night. This is not a before bed movie.
You have to wake up early and watch.
This is the only time I had.
At 6 a.m. That's better.
I finished it
crack a dawn
this morning. I got to the last 20 minutes, and I was like, I need to watch. I remember the finale because it's
not
so
right before
crazy,
bed.
and I need to watch that in the light of the day. But Wolf, oh my God.
Yeah.
Big Wolf. Big Wolf.
Monica, do you remember that this was actually the first 4DX movie we ever saw?
We saw this in 4DX.
We saw this in 4DX. It was incredible in 4DX, just for the record. It was absolutely amazing. Part of why I fell in love with 4DX. But we saw this, and then we went to see when they brought Twisters back in 4DX. That was like a month afterwards.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, I remember that we saw a horror movie for the first one. Yeah, that was a fucking out-of-body experience.
It was
absolutely crazy.
Well, because there's so much camera work that's like
7 minutes long.
So there's so much like atmospheric chair movement.
And all the vase water.
They spray you. Yeah, they spray you with the blood.
And in her choreograph, she's like upside down. So I'm assuming you're like moving along. Okay, I could see this one kind of being a banger in 4DX.
Slayed in 4DX.
Such a banger. And I mean, I don't know. For me, it's still held up. I definitely still have some critiques of this movie, but I do think it's a riotously good time. And in the terms of Pop Star Horror Month, the most bangering pop star horror movie that we have at this current time. Again, there's another one that may or may not be coming out at some point in the future that is soon.
That may or may not be good. We'll see.
That may or may not be good. We have no idea. But like it might have access to the production value that you need to make a pop star horror movie like this feel as larger than life as that sounds not grammar, but you know what I mean. It has to feel larger, like you're seeing this like actual like Britney Spears, Lady Gaga level star like coming to life on screen. And I do think you can say what you want about other parts of the movie, but I do think they nailed that, at least for me.
No, I agree. I think in terms of Pop Star Horror Month, this one, at least so far, we'll see. But I think maybe potentially overall, it's going to be hard to beat. I think this is like the pop stariest of all of them. I would say maybe in terms of, if we're like just talking about the music, Moretti hits on a first listen in a way that nothing else has so far, but these are definite earworms, and I'm like listening in my car, singing along, would listen normally. I mean, I've been listening to Moretti on repeat since we last recorded.
Well, that's like he brings this like queer energy to the music that is something that we particularly like. But these songs do bang. These songs
they're bangers. They're really good. And the way that they bring her pop star energy and aura to this film, and the way it like adds to the horror, it was like in Opus, he had the cult vibes of it all. So he had like the worship of the people around him, but he could have been a cult leader for any particular reason. It didn't need to be because he was a pop star. Like the movie would have still, roughly speaking, translated if they were there to interview him as like the leader of a movement. You know what I mean? This one, it's so like the pop starness is in the DNA of every moment of the movie.
Totally. It's built into the scares. So much of the body horror is like related to the stress that is put on the body of a pop star. And then also like the whole conversation, something that I did read like one article about this movie. Sorry, I didn't do a ton of research, but like her being this like unlikable protagonist, and like you finding moments where you can not relate to her, but you feel empathy for her at sometimes because you can see how much she's being overworked and misunderstood, and then also you see where the fame has gone to her head and she's being a self-righteous cunt. And I think that all goes down to Naomi Scott like giving such a fucking incredible performance in this. Like, again, I think there are flaws in this movie, and we're gonna get into all of them, but like I think her acting is really, really incredible. I think the songs are fun. To do another comparison here to Trap has all those songs that have lyrics that are pertaining to the themes of the film, and they're super like overbearing, kind of, and like overdone, and it's kind of cheesy. These ones have lyrics that deal with themes in the film, but like it still feels like a song. You know what I mean? Like it's more deftly handled in my opinion.
I also just think the way that the pop starness is like woven into the story makes it work more because it's like Lady Raven was not writing songs about having a dad who's a serial killer or like
Yeah.
the walls closing in on you. It's just like weird within the movie that the lyrics of Lady Raven songs happen to
Which makes it
align.
more cheese ball. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like Skye Riley's songs are about Skye Riley's trauma, and Skye Riley's horror smile experience is also about Skye Riley's trauma. So if it
Yeah.
matches, it's because it's all very psychological for her.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sorry, you already said this, but like the way that the horror is enmeshed into the fact that she is a pop star. It's just like it's just well done. It's not like she goes down the street and there's a monster following her and then she goes to practice later. Like it's like the worlds collide. It is ingrained into the dressing room she is in, like the fittings that she's doing, like all these different like things that her celebrity are for situations that her celebrity are forcing her into and those being manipulated into horror. And I think this is like the quintessential sequel. Sorry that's saying so much, but like this is like the way that you take an idea for a film and then you go whoosh and you just up the ante in every single regard. Like they took the concept, which like some parts of the concept piss me off. And so that's fine. We'll get into that too. But you can't change that. It's the concept, okay? You take the concept, you start it out in this small little contained box, which is the story of Sosie Bacon and her being a therapist and all of that. I remembered her name. That's so crazy. Not her character
Cotter.
name.
Rose
No one
something.
knows. Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah, I
Jesus
watched those clips earlier
Christ.
where she says her name like 5 times. Sorry.
Oh, hello. I'm Rose Cotter.
Well, I listened to the part where she like is hallucinating that the alarm company calls her. And so they're like, please
Oh,
say
and
your
they're
name
like,
and
"Are
the code
you
word, and
Rose
she's like,
Cotter?"
Rose Cotter, Acapulco.
LOL. Great memory. Great job watching that and then recalling it from earlier today. If it had been from 2 years ago, then I'd be like, you got to
be really
dump that
impressed
info
then.
and put something
Yeah.
else in there. I don't know.
Everything's in
But
here. There's
anyway,
space for everything.
that was like a very small and contained story and like really dealing with like one person's trauma and one person's story and whatever. And I love that. That's usually what I like in a horror. You know me, my fucking MO is that I hate it when they take a story and then blow it up and it affects the entire world or whatever. Unless it's done well. And in this case, I think they did do a really good job of like taking it, raising the stakes in a proportionate way. And I feel like at least the scope of the movie, you can't see if they did a good job of handling the way that they rose those stakes. And if that doesn't make sense to you, that means you didn't watch the movie. And I'm not spoiling it yet. It's too early in the podcast episode. But like, I'm interested to see how they raise it even more in Smile 3, which just got confirmed, I think, or just something info about Smile 3 was just coming out like in the last week.
I
We're
also thought I
recording
saw something
into
about Smile
April.
3. And having watched Smile 2, I'm now very interested in what they're going
Yeah.
to do with Smile 3.
I think there's a bunch of news stories from like a month ago that are all saying Smile 3 is coming, but Parker Finn probably won't direct, is like all the most recent news that I'm seeing.
Oh.
Which is kind of a bummer because he wrote and direct Smile and Smile 2.
Yeah.
And so
Why
if
won't
you're
he
like
do
scared
it?
of what Smile 3 is going to be, his hands are the ones I would trust him in, but maybe he'll still be writing, just not directing. And that I would probably be okay with, because if the story is still coming from him, because the thing is, it was his idea. He was like working on the sequel, and he was like, how could I make it different from the one before? Because it would be very easy. And he said he did entertain the idea for a minute of just following Joel, who is Kyle Gallner, the police officer from the first one, who's Rose's ex-boyfriend, who's like there at the end, in theory, who she passes the curse to. He opens this movie. We see him open this movie. It would be easy to just be like, what happens to him? But then it's like, how do you make that significantly different from the first one, other than it being a different person reflecting their own different individual traumas? But like, how do you make it aesthetically significantly unique, and bringing in the pop star element is such a cool way to do it, because it means like this scares can be so theatrical in a way that they wouldn't be for the average person. Like that scene in the hallway with all of the dancers, they called it like Cirque du Soleil from hell or whatever. Like
That
they
shit was
can
fucked.
go, yeah, they can go like so insane with that. All of the fears that a pop star might have, being exposed to so many different people, constantly strangers who are obsessed with them, know everything about them, want to be close to them, like that can really be incorporated here in a way that just is not the average person's experience. So just it gives it access to this like world that makes it so different from just another person down the street who the smile curse happens to get past to. Like it's such an interesting entry point for a smile story that, even if it's exactly the same in terms of like story arc, feels significantly different.
Makes it a brand new movie. You're not retrouting the same steps.
You're not heating up your own nachos.
Exactly.
Even if you are in many ways exactly heating up your own nachos, because this movie
the context
takes
is so different.
Yeah, the context is what really like makes it feel special and exciting. It's why they're able to get you with the same tricks a second time.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's dive into the very beginning of this movie, because like again, I said I don't think it's perfect, and one of my issues is in the beginning, and maybe you guys can just fix that issue that I have for me, because maybe I just didn't get it. But the opening one fucks, because it opens on Kyle Gallner's face, and I want everything to open on Kyle Gallner's face. I love him. I love to see his face, even when he's playing a cop. I have to let it slide just for this one moment.
Completely forgot that he was in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
like you said, you blocked out that whole day.
Yeah. Seeing his face first thing, I was like, my nipples are hard. Let's go.
Right?
And then he immediately gets gone, and the nipples not as hard anymore.
Well,
the nipples
okay, so
softened just a touch.
Yeah, just a tad.
This is
not
part where
entirely, but
I was confused because recap, a little lore recap. My nipples just deflated immediately. It's so sad. No, my nipples were not involved in the experience.
Where were they?
Unfortunately,
she took them off. She left them in the other room.
I was too
they
tired
were at least
to
a
be
little
fully involved.
They were present. I hope they were present.
That's private, Chelsea, and I don't need to discuss my anatomy like this.
All right.
Bush was there. Don't worry. Bush was
there. But I'm not going to talk about where my nipples go at night. Okay.
They go to bed like business. All other people's nipples. Okay.
I'd already tucked them tucked them in. Anyway, but yeah, so bizarre. I don't know what I was just saying. Anyway, okay, so I thought it was interesting that we're like rehashing like one of the theories of the first one right away, because I totally forgot about that whole part where Sosie Bacon, Rose Cotter, whatever, goes to tell me if this is the right movie, because it's been so long. She goes to the jail and she meets the one guy who hasn't done it, who didn't die, and it was because he murdered someone in the street, right? That's what the lore is.
He murdered someone in front of their wife or something like that, I think.
So then he passed it to the wife by doing that.
It was like, I don't remember if it was exactly like he killed the husband in front of the wife. I want to say they were his neighbors, but it was something like that. So it was like he passed it to the witness. It's like the witness.
Yeah, he passed it because obviously the other person is dead. So there just has to be an act of trauma-inducing violence to pass it. Okay, so that makes sense to me. So his Kyle Gallner's plan was to go into these like drug lord mob boss dude's house, kill the guy in front of his brother, pass it to the mob boss, and then hopefully it just kills mob bosses for forever, at least for a while. It was a really good plan.
Yeah.
And I just want to give him a little props because it was a good plan, but he shouldn't have been shooting everybody willy-nilly. He shouldn't have been shooting him if he wants him to be alive. That was his first misstep, is shooting the person who you want to
cop
stay
instincts.
alive. I know. But that the shit showiness of the beginning is so good, where he has this great plan. I love the little like aside where you see the like burning person in the corner.
That's
which
Rose.
who is that? That's Rose, right?
Because she
Mhm.
immolates
She
at the
like
end of the first
immolates.
movie.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's what I thought. I kind of blocked out that ending. That's one of the parts I have a big issue with. But this is where things get a little messy for me. So our Lord and Savior Lukas Gage is in this film. Thank God. Thank God.
Yes,
I don't
it
feel
was nice
safe
seeing
unless
him
he's in
too.
it. If he's not in the movie I'm watching, it's not a good movie. He's in so many of them though. Luckily, most movies are still good. So he passed the demon to Lukas Gage when he killed those other guys in front of Lukas Gage. So not his intended victim, which was the mob boss guy. So that's how it happened. Luke, I was so confused. I honestly was so confused because I thought that Lukas Gage somehow had gotten out of the house and was the person who hit him with the car. And I was like, how did that happen? And how did they
He did it
establish
so
that?
quickly.
And I was like, it doesn't make any sense. And how would that still work? And it doesn't make any sense. So that makes it extra sad. So it worked. Kyle Gallner literally got rid of the fuck. I've never understood this in all the times I've seen this movie. Kyle Gallner literally got rid of the demon in that moment when he thought he fucked it all. And then he immediately got hit by a car.
Well,
Because
and
Vince
then
gets
he
stitches.
even apologizes to
Yeah.
Lucas,
Yeah.
like Gage's character, because he's like, I'm so sorry, like I did not mean
was
for
not my
you to
plan.
do
Yeah.
this. And like
I
he
didn't know
doesn't
anybody else was
what's-
here.
He didn't like
Yeah.
poor Lewis is his name in the movie, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Lucas,
Lewis.
Fergoli.
like same thing. Like he had no idea like what was going on. Why, like, could you imagine witnessing somebody like murder these people and then the murderer is apologizing to you and you're like, what?
Yeah. I mean, I think this
Preposterous.
particular sphere of influence does lend itself a little more to danger. But you certainly, when pumpkin fraps are being delivered any moment, you certainly aren't expecting violence.
No.
Yeah, totally. Oh my God. Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Sorry, that was very obvious now that I
Talked
remembered
it.
how
Yeah.
that lore worked.
Well,
But
because
I
I
was just
can
like,
see
what? It was just a bad coincidence that he got hit by a car. And it just
Yeah.
happened to be
Yeah.
that his body got smooshed into the shape of a smile. That is also just a bad coincidence.
There was so much blood.
Well, he really got dragged for a
Well,
while, so I imagine that car swerved to try and like,
that's-
get him off the grill
Yeah.
or whatever, you know.
No, he went
Um,
under, dude. That's what it is. He got
Yeah.
stuck under
And,
and
like,
his legs
dragged.
got ripped apart.
But
And that's like
when
his
they
fucking
show the
goo.
boot coming in to screen at first, and you're like, oh my God, there he is, there's his body. And then it's like, no, just a foot in a boot, rest of the body still far away, it's still to come.
Still
That's
mooshed
disgusting.
in there. Nasty, 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 nasty work. Really nasty work. Ugh. It's a really good intro, though. It's a really good introduction.
It's a great intro. And
Yeah.
like, and it's really interesting too, because like the vibe of the intro and the rest of the movie are so different, right? Because like the vibe of the intro is like gloomy and gray and like, and then the rest of the movie is like bright, colorful, like
Yeah.
over the top. It's kind of wild.
It's very much like matched to the first movie, the intro, which
Mhm.
makes sense. It's like closing out that story, if you will, and then we enter the story that we're in next. And I haven't verified this for myself yet, but I saw on IMDb trivia. It's like we see the opening, we see the blood smile, it says smile to, and then it like cuts. And when you see next is like the beginning of Skye Riley's Grieve You music video being shown on a TV in a room somewhere. And IMDb trivia says that TV in that room is actually, if you compare it later in the movie, which I will in just a second, that TV is in Louis Fergoli's apartment. It's like his
Love
TV
it.
that we're seeing
perfect.
Skye Riley go on the Drew Barrymore show. So it's like another connection. It's like maybe once he's infected and he's watching this, the demon is seeing this and is like getting, not that he reaches out to her, obviously she reaches out to him. So it's still getting lucky in many ways. But maybe that's how it knew to seize that opportunity when she gets there. You know what I mean? Because also, and I want to talk about this more in detail when we talk about the ending, but one of the big discussions that we had on our Smile 1 episode, and I think opinions differ. I don't remember what everyone's opinion was here. I only remember mine, but in the larger world, opinions definitely differ of, is everyone susceptible to the curse or only people who've had like a previous trauma of some kind? Because in the first one,
I remember that conversation.
yeah. In the first one, they make it really clear that like Rose saw her mother die when she was a child, and the girl from the beginning, who's also in the short story that Parker Finn made, Laura Can't Sleep or Laura Doesn't Sleep or whatever one that was called. It was like she saw her grandparent die or something when she was younger, and then they go to the guy before her, and like Judy Reyes is there and his widow, and it's something like, oh, something with his brother happened in his past. And so they established for everyone that we talked to basically that like they had some horrible trauma that was already haunting them. And so if that is a necessary factor for the Smile Demon to be able to jump to someone else, if the Smile Demon is in Louis Fergoli's body watching the Drew Barrymore show, she says a year ago, Skye Riley survived this horrible car accident that killed her boyfriend, Parker Hudson, or whatever his name is. So, like, from the first introduction of the Smile Demon to Skye, it's like, by the way, if you needed this, here it is. It's there. So, fire away.
Well, I mean, I remember this conversation now, and I think that it senses people's trauma or learns about people's trauma, and it waits until you found, like, till it's broken you down enough, and also until it's found a new host that is juicy enough bait. But then when you force the hand of the demon, i.e., when that man who was in jail killed that guy, the wife might not have had a lot of trauma, but I think that, like, if you force him out or do that act, like the act of seeing the traumatic event gives the some trauma at least to that person, but it might just not be as satiating as of a meal for the demon. That I remember that was what I thought last time around. But yeah, I mean,
it's like the
Skye,
timeline, how long they chomp on somebody before going
exactly.
to the next somebody.
They might
sure.
stay for like a day or something and be like, okay, well, there's not a lot of juice in here. This bitch has had a really fucking good life up until yesterday.
Up until yesterday when somebody killed themselves in front of her.
Yeah, that was a bad day for her. And then she's actually been pretty chill. It's been sunshine and rainbows ever since then. Or before then. But yeah, I think seeing Skye Riley on there, that's like, oh my God, ding, ding, ding. And she has influence. So now he's moving onwards and upwards.
He's locked in.
He's locked
she,
in.
unlike the normal person, is doing literal meet and greets to greet 300 people who are all going to go, I was suicidal until I listened to your music, Skye Riley.
Yeah, the Smile Demon has an entrepreneurial spirit that cannot be beat,
really
and it cannot
girl
be
bossing.
Really a go-getter.
Ooh.
Really girl bossing in a way that is just diabolical. Very dangerous, but you have to give him his props. But yeah, I think I love that shot too with the TV and how it like zooms in on the TV and the audio's different, and then it pops through the bubble and you're into the world and you're in the first person perspective, maybe not first person, but like in the Skye Riley world, in the Skye Riley perspective. I think there's some really fun cinematography things that they do here that can be really silly but also very fun. And they really love to do the thing where the city's upside down. And sometimes when the city's upside down, I feel unsettled. Sometimes I'm like, it's too many times that the city's been upside down. But sometimes I'm like, fuck, the city's upside down. I feel some type of way.
Something's unsettled. Something is not in its right place. IMDb trivia. Somebody on there said there are multiple times throughout the film where the screen is flipped upside down and then flipped right side up. this isn't just some special effect for the film. This is the film letting the audience know that Skye is about to experience another massive illusion created by the entity. And I don't know that that's 100% true, that happens every time when it goes upside down, but I'm willing to investigate that for myself later and see if I see evidence of that.
Yeah.
And if there is, maybe I'll do a social post.
Okay, yeah, please let me know because I'm interested to see that because I think that's a cool concept, but it's also annoying too.
Her
It's like,
world's
oh,
being
it's gonna
turned
be
upside
crazy.
down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you
shit's
want
about
to
to get
see something
crazy
weird?
right now.
Let's go into the bizarro world.
Whoa!
It's upside
Like-
down here, folks. Yeah. Yeah.
See, okay, that's one of the things that is a little frustrating to me about these movies is the rules of the world make things not matter, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
they make, I don't know.
Especially
it gets
in
a
this
little
one.
frustrating. Yeah, because it's just like, again, it's one of those things that I don't like in horror sometimes. Reasons why I don't like Halloween that much. I like Freddy. Freddy's funny. I don't like Jason movies that much because it's like you can't fucking kill the guy. The guy
Yeah.
keeps winning.
Yeah.
That entrepreneurial spirit keeps shining through time and time
Monica
again.
hates an entrepreneur.
I hate an entrepreneur. Fuck an entrepreneur. No. I too wish to have the entrepreneurial spirit, and so I'm jealous, is what this is. This is a jealousy thing. No, but I don't like that it feels like your person can't win.
Yeah.
And so that's so frustrating. Not that, like, what would happen if they won in this? Then, like, there wouldn't be a sequel. I get that, but they could
Yeah.
get around it somehow. But it's just frustrating. And they make you forget that it can't happen because, like, you've got this badass bitch, Skye Riley, even though she is a kind, as we said earlier, like, oh, she's got all of these resources. Maybe with all these resources that come with her fame, she'll be able to somehow figure it out. Hire the most famous demonologist in the entire world because she's hella fucking rich. Nope, that doesn't happen. Thank God, honestly.
Yeah.
Then it would have been The Conjuring.
Well, I think, we've seen 2 installments in this world. So we've seen 2 times that they had ideas for how they might be able to beat it, and ultimately it didn't work. In this time, we don't know for sure that plan wouldn't have worked if they'd been able to successfully execute it.
Complete it, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like maybe it could be beaten and we just haven't seen it be beaten yet. I'm willing to see, especially in the world of Smile 3, where in theory there could be a lot of opportunities to try, but it's also like, what does beating it really look like? And we've seen that in other films before. Like, we've kind of, It Follows has like a similar premise of how things are passed, and that there's like no real winning, because in It Follows, if you die, it doesn't die with you, it just goes back to the last person before. So it will always go somewhere. It can't really go backwards in this movie, but as long as someone is dying, it can kind of ensure timing wise that there will be an audience of some, even of one. But in Fear Street, you know what I mean? They do the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
If
I
you
knew you'd feel
if you
some type
need
of way
to
about this.
die to defeat the curse, can you die and be brought back to life? Final Destination's Bloodline, similar thing.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting idea, and I think it is there. It's possible that it could work, and it's possible that there are other ways to do it, but that's part of what makes Joel's plan in the beginning so interesting to me, is because he thinks he's come up with like a great way. If somebody has to get it, if it has to pass for someone to someone for me to survive, let me pick like the biggest piece of shit I know, these 2 guys who killed a woman and her child a couple of years ago. Let me go through my police files and pick the worst criminal in here. But it's like he doesn't know who it's going to pass to after that. Even if it did successfully pass to them, one day later it could pass to somebody else, and it could be again another mother and her child on the street kind of deal. Like even if you successfully do it, and then are you like haunted by that? You know what I mean? Even if you don't have the smile demon anymore, do you still have the trauma?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know.
you don't
Eating
come
your
out of this
brain.
unscathed.
Yeah. It's an interesting question, but it's also it's like Candyman. It's like once you can't trust your own perception of reality, you can't really be the person executing the plan, and you can't really trust that the people around you are executing the plan either. And so it's just a really high barrier of like how do you A, know what's happening, B, get someone involved, C, trust that they will be able to execute the plan successfully. It's just a lot to
And believe that, yeah, they're
put on your
actually
to-do list.
a person. And that's the thing that I guess is very effective about the way they do that in this movie, but it also just sort of pissed me off because she does have all of these people around her. She has more people than you can imagine. She pissed them all off because she wasn't there at 8:30. There's 100 people waiting for her. But like, who actually cares, right? And who sees her as a person and like listen and doesn't think, you know, that she's just fucking around. That was an interesting thing that they did with this movie, is making her a, I'm using scare quotes, unreliable narrator to her own friends and family because of the issues she's had with addiction and rage and whatever else in the past, where people don't trust her anymore. Gone through this trauma, and so she's had a really, really, really rough time. And so, but like, you'd think the trauma part, they'd be like sympathetic, but like preceding that trauma, she was a raging cunt all over town, you know? And she was horrible to all of these people. And so they just think she's, no matter what, are gonna think that she's back in her behaviors again. They cannot ever, I know this is a hard pill to swallow, entrepreneurial demon that eats your trauma. That's kind of crazy, but like they're not willing to even see her pain as real in this moment because they've all been hurt by her so much, and they think that she's just being how she was. So that was smart to make it so so no one believes her. But it's frustrating because it's also a huge trope in horror that I see all the time, and it's usually like mental health. They're like, oh, they're bipolar. We don't trust them. I'm sorry, I just used whatever one, but like it's just, it's not always deftly handled.
No, I agree. And I think that is, if that is a problem that you have with horror tropes, then these can be really complicated movies because once again, it's the whole thing of like the horror is having trauma. And sometimes trauma does affect your ability to like remember things clearly, store memories, perceive what's going around you without the bias of your own experiences. Addiction is an illness, and sometimes that illness makes you lie because you're trying to hide what's going on with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of an interesting, it's like what you were saying with like, oh, what if the smile demon gets somebody who's had a really good life up until yesterday? Like Rose in the first movie, she has this like huge trauma from her childhood. Her childhood in general was traumatic, but now in theory, she's like a grown adult that even though she's like repressed this one specific aspect, she has just whatever other than an unhealthy work-life balance, and not being able to like lower her walls. But in every other sense, she's like trying to be a really successful adult who has their life together, who has a relationship with their family, blah, blah, blah. Skye Riley here, it's like her trauma is the ongoing day to day of everything that she's still doing. It's like the circumstances that led to her addiction. Her addiction was part of the circumstances that led to her falling out with her best friend 2 weeks later, getting in a horrible car accident with her boyfriend where he dies. She's horribly injured. And then she has to go through recovery for a year. Now they're putting her back in the exact same position that she was in before, but having alienated a lot of the people around her who helped her feel like grounded and healthy and connected. And I think you can certainly make an argument for the fact that Gemma made her feel like grounded and healthy and connected is like explicitly why she pushes her away in the first place, because the people that know you best, you don't want to like see when something horrible is going on in your life. Or they're going to be like calling you out on your horrible relationship that you're in that you are not ready to confront in whatever way. But it's like with Rose, it's drawing on this one specific thing. It's the same kind of thing of like her mental health makes her unreliable because her boyfriend or fiance or whatever it was, he doesn't believe that she's being haunted by a smile demon. And you know what? I think to some degree that's fair. But he doesn't believe that she's being haunted by a smile demon because he knows that her mom had horrible mental health and addiction issues as well. And he's like, it's hereditary. That's another part that I rewatched earlier because that was part of the whole mustache phone call from the alarm company, blah, blah, blah. Those moments are all intertwined. But
Mustache
he
phone
doesn't.
call.
Mustache is the cat.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
Mustache is her cat's name. But he doesn't, he's like closed off to the idea that there's something paranormal happening with her because he's like, oh, your mom was quote unquote crazy, therefore you might be quote unquote crazy, therefore I can't believe you. And here it's a similar kind of thing of like, you'll say anything to avoid being responsible for your own actions. And so if you're going, Joshua trashed my dressing room or whatever, it's like, no, Joshua didn't. You trashed your dressing room. You don't want to admit it. It's fine. We don't even have to get into it. Someone will clean it up. But like, girl, what's going on with you? But even then, it's not even girl, what's going on with you? It's like, girl, get it together. We have the tour.
Yeah.
This is gonna ruin the world tour.
I was thinking about that the whole time.
Apparently, they made a lot of jokes about that on set.
So funny.
This is
Wow,
gonna
that
ruin the world
predated
tour.
this.
Or it was like
When did that
while they
happen?
were or
Promoting it.
I think they're okay. Let's look up when
This
that was
came out in
actually, and then I'll get into
2004.
Timberlake, the world tour.
My God, the filter for my camera just short circuited for a second and it was horrific. I'm so sorry to the YouTube crowd.
Just edit it out, Monica. Don't worry. They will never know.
Okay, he was arrested in June 2024, and this movie came out in October 2024. So I'm not sure exactly like when they were done filming.
Press tour, probably.
But it said they made a lot of jokes. It said the line, "This is gonna ruin the tour," which presumably they're saying it. IMDb trivia is saying it was in this movie. They're saying that line was actually a joke that was said on set, which writer-director Parker Finn wrote into the script. And then, because this is a separate IMDb trivia entry, because the film centers around Skye's comeback tour, a lot of fans have joked about the entity's hauntings by applying Justin Timberlake's infamous response to a DUI, "This is going to ruin the tour," often followed by Skye's defined "fuck the tour," which she says way later when with Darius in the mental health facility. So it could be some degree of like, I don't know. It'd be hard to incorporate into the script potentially. But that also might have been near the tail end of filming. Who can say?
So
might just be a happy accident, but
sometimes things align and just beautiful things happen. That's really just really nice. Oh, he's so cringe. Jesus Christ. I keep getting that video of him when he's like trying to like swerve on Britney, like at the VMAs or something. And he's like, you know what they call me? Timberlake or something. Like he like is doing like his little scat singing fucking rap thing. Timberlake. Something like that. I'm like, shut the fuck up. It was as bad as that, maybe worse. And I know that I sounded dumb. He thought he sounded fucking so fuckable. Oh my God. Anyway, what were you going to say, Sydney? Sorry.
An Instagram DM that I have sent to my father within the last 48 hours just said, "If Justin Timberlake has no haters, I am dead."
Yeah.
The way he treated Britney Spears after their breakup in the press, the way that his music videos are like,
everything.
and this
That
is
man
Britney,
has
by
been
the
in
way,
my
and I'm
enemies
stalking her in this music
fun
video, and
list
here's another
since I was
one
a
where
child.
I chase her in a car and she dies in a car crash. It's like, shut up.
I hate him.
And everyone was like,
cannot-
yes.
And they ate
Everyone
it
was like,
up.
what a banger. No.
Nope.
What
I hate
Goes
I
Justin
did
Around
love
is
Timberlake.
not
both
even
those
that good
songs.
of a song.
Nope.
I did love it. I'm sorry, but I know now,
A
and
toad,
he's a cunt.
Monica.
Yeah. Answer for your sins
I
right
said
now.
he's a cunt. I just made fun of his little stupid rap.
It doesn't
okay?
matter what you just
I
said.
just said it. I'm sorry.
Do the bebop
Everything-
again.
Yeah.
Tumba, tumba, tumba. I don't even know how he does it.
JC
Like, you know that part
the fame.
in Pop where he's like, pom, 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 pom. Like, literally, he's doing that in the song. Like, it sounds like farts. Like, sorry, I know that that's a type of thing you can do and you can do it well, but like, this is an example of not that. And it's when it's done poorly by a white man and it just shouldn't be done. Ugh. Anyway, back to the film that we're here to discuss. Smile 2. Something that I have to say is that sorry, I got a weird text. Something that I have to say is that Skye Riley, I forgot. Sorry, I got a weird text. I forgot. It was good too.
And Skye
It was
Riley,
good, too.
that's enough.
No,
Enough
it
said.
wasn't Skye Riley. Skye Riley's best friend. What's her name?
Gemma.
Gemma. Love that
Xanthippe
name.
from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Ooh, okay. She looks like my Renaissance Fair crush, like quite a bit. And I just saw my
Mm.
Renaissance Fair crush on Saturday, so added to my viewing experience. 10 out of 10. I hope that really was like enhancing of the film for you as a listener. But yeah, but her whole character, that whole part of this is the saddest part and part of the most frustrating parts for me, because like she is the one person that makes Skye feel safe, and she is in the movie so much, and then you find out that she was never fucking there, and they do make that clear in several parts that she's not actually there, but then they try to fake you back into it. But like the one part that I know, first, she is a scare demon plaything when they're having the slumber party and she turns into a car. It's just so scary. It's so scary when she turns into a car.
Yeah.
I hate it when my bestie turns into a car. Don't you guys ever do that, okay? Please. But then like they fake you back into it because she's like, I made matcha.
Mhm. And
all
Sorry,
oh
I
yeah,
know, maybe
I'm
you're
getting
gonna
to
say
that too. I think we're gonna say the same thing, but they fake you back into it because it's like I made matcha. But what, this bitch is too chipper for the shit that was in those text messages that we see.
Yeah.
Like she is forgiving way too fucking quickly for the text that she said that they sent back and forth, because she's literally saying like, Skye literally says like, you're disgusting, you're like
You're
dead to
scum.
me, you're
Yeah.
scum, something like all caps, like crazy shit, like crazy mean shit. It's super super vicious, and then didn't speak for a year, and then Gemma's just like back in it so quickly. That's super fucking suspicious. But the part that's like really obvious, that to me at least, that she's not real, is right after Skye is like woken up, she's lost time, her friend was just a car, now she's fine and she has matcha, everything's different now. She's late to go to her rehearsal, and then Skye's mom walks in and is yelling at her. And then Gemma's standing there holding the matchas, and she's like, hi, Mrs. Riley, or whatever. And it's just crickets. Skye's mom doesn't say anything. You don't hear any response, but there's enough like break in time where there should have been a response. And the mom is nothing if not cordial, you know? And she's the one who literally told Skye to get in contact with Gemma. So that, to me, watching that was so weird that it clocked for me that like we're hearing that because we're in Skye's head, but no one else is because she's not there.
It's interesting that that's your perspective on that scene, because I feel like it's actually doing. I liked that that was there to disguise what was going on. I mean, I agree that under
I don't
normal
think it's super
circumstances,
obvious, but
yeah.
I think that's one of the one of the tells.
To me, that's like the misdirection. I mean, obviously it's there. That's what they're trying to accomplish with that scene, is to be like, see, she says hi to her, so she must be real. But I think they, under normal circumstances, the mom is the one that's like, why don't you reach out to Gemma, see if Gemma can come join on tour? So I agree that if Gemma was really there, the mom would have a much bigger immediate reaction to seeing Gemma. But I think they disguise it well enough by being like, she overslept all of her alarms so that they're at like level 5 fire when her mom comes
Oh,
in. Her
yeah.
mom is not interact because she's like, let's get out of here. And then when we see Gemma
No, I think
go,
it's well
hey
done.
Elizabeth,
I don't.
they
I
like,
just think it's a
we
hint.
only see, I agree, but I
You're
think
not supposed to pick up on it necessarily. It's like Easter egg.
I think it's both. Because it's like good misdirection of her being like, hey Elizabeth. So it's like there to give the idea that you're supposed to feel like you've seen them interact without actually seeing them interact, because you see
It's
her
like,
on
yeah, it's
screen
both
by
for sure, yeah.
herself in that moment, and then it cuts to the next scene afterwards.
You think it's confirmation that she is
that they're both
real,
in the
but
room,
it's actually confirmation that she's not. If you
that they're not on screen
read
together.
into
Yeah.
between the lines or
that
whatever.
that she doesn't say anything back or acknowledge her
Yeah.
in any way.
Yeah.
Sydney, do you remember seeing that scene? It was your first time watching this movie, so I'm curious what if you picked up on anything there.
I did not catch that at all. And then when I was like,
just another scene in the movie.
yeah, well, for me, I was just like, okay,
There's
like
so much going on.
But I was like, this is the first time that they've seen each other in a year, so she's just saying like, oh, hi, and then like the scene kind of cuts like.
Yeah, it like goes
quick,
straight
like
to them rushing into rehearsal, being like, sorry, 850 people waiting on me, sorry.
Yeah, so like it could have been like, she could have said hi. We just, we've moved on quickly. And it wasn't until I was like reading about it later that a bunch of people were like, and this just proves. And I was like, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Also, just Gemma in general. It's one of those things where it's like, we don't find out until later. She calls her like a stupid, I don't remember what the middle name is. Stupid, unscrupulous cunt is not quite it. Unscrupulous is not the word in the middle, but that's what my brain wants to supply. Stupid something cunt. And then in the text messages, she's like, you're scum, fuck off. So it is pretty bad. The falling out. We see the like pictures of, there's a moment, maybe not on the Drew Barrymore show, but there's a moment at some point where it's like we see that she was crazy in paparazzi candid photos 2 weeks before the accident. And you can see that those are pictures of like her fighting with Gemma outside of a trailer of some kind. So clearly they were having a falling out. And the movie, again, it paints enough of a picture of what Skye's been through and what a tough time she's having, that you both can believe a friend who has been through so much with her would immediately be like, okay, I didn't know how to reach out, or I didn't want to reach out, but now that a year has passed and you're clean and you're going through this and it's hard and they're putting you back in the same situation, like, I want to help, I want to be there for you. And also, in hindsight, it's like, of course she doesn't just like come back into the fold that easily, where she's immediately like, do you want me to sleep over tonight? Like, they do a really good job where she's like, do you want me to sleep over tonight? I'm already here, I can stay with you. And then the next day being like, actually she can't be around everybody else, that's too much of an illusion.
What do you expect me to just fucking drop my whole life for you in
it's
one
like she
day?
has other stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that is also a really interesting misdirection too, because then we see Skye texting her being like, where are you? Is your friend's thing done yet? Like, are you coming? And so those text messages are real. So, because we get the acknowledgement in the phone call later of like, what were those texts about? But in theory, it's like showing us something physical that's like proof of contact between them. But once again, what you don't necessarily realize, or maybe you do if you're a very savvy viewer, is that it's only one-way contact. Like, she's not getting responses.
Oof. Yeah. Another part that I think we should discuss is, well, two different things. Do we want to talk about the crash itself first or the charity event? Because they are related.
Because you get like a snapshot of the crash beforehand where we like come to her hanging upside down in the car, and then after the charity event is when we get like the full lead up to the crash.
Oh, it's right after. Okay, sorry.
Because it's like she kind of like goes down, and then we see it like fades in to that scene. I think the way that they like revealed that backstory was so well done in this movie.
Yeah.
The way that it's like placed and the way you come into those scenes, it felt like very scary and like a slow burn, ominous way. And it doesn't like take. I think it's just like very natural, the flow of those scenes.
Mm-hmm. God, and they're so disturbing, and there's so many details. Like the first time I watched it, or not the first time ever, but like last night when I watched it, I literally blinked and I missed the reveal of Paul Hudson's dead corpse in the car. Like it's such a good like lead up, and then it's just like you see it and you're like fuck, and then it turns away. I mean, the gore in this is so good. These shots are so uncomfortable. They're so uncomfortable, and they really add to the fact that both parties are incredibly inebriated and under the influence of drugs. She's literally doing blow in the car. But like
So
it's like
he.
almost like a fisheye. Yeah, so is he. He's got the little spoon. The fisheye almost that they have of them, and the close quarters, like cramped. Everything feels too large. Like they both look like, compared to what they look like normally, those are two very hot people. They look awful because it's these horrible angles and they're all close up and they look like caricatures of who they are, which is, you know, thematic and indicative of what's happening. It, like the drugs have like boiled them down to only these like extreme versions of themselves, and they're doing these horrific things to each other. They're saying horrific things to each other, and then Skye is taking it to a whole nother level by getting physically violent while he is high drunk driving a car on Mulholland, maybe. I don't know where they are.
It looks like it.
It looks like Mulholland, but like the rest of the movie's in New York, so
could be anywhere.
Could be anywhere.
I will say though, if I had a partner that was saying like whack shit, like you know how sometimes
I knew you would
like,
resonate with this scene.
And
I knew
like,
the first time I saw it that you would resonate with this scene.
Yep.
You're like, I will crash this motherfucking car.
Oh, you're gonna call me crazy? You want me to be crazy? Exactly.
I'll show you crazy. I'll crash our car and we die. I think I wanted it too much.
Fighting with the crazy bitch. Do not call her crazy because she will up the ante.
Yes. And I relate to that.
The consequences are so far away in that moment. Oh, you want to see crazy? I will show you crazy. You think this is crazy? You don't know what I'm capable of, so don't push me.
As a person who is properly medicated, but who has had to be in anger management since 15 and also can be crazy, I am very good at maintaining it until you start calling me crazy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, girl, it's like you're waking up.
You've invited it to the party at this point.
You've spoken the demon awake. The demon is here. You did this to yourself, unfortunately, I will say.
Don't call upon Pazuzu if you don't want Pazuzu.
Girl, stop saying Pazuzu.
Pazuzu is.
I called him Pazoo so I don't get demon this time. I don't know how entrepreneurial Pazoo's spirit is. Be wary of the entrepreneurial demon. Oh my god.
Yeah, I agree that he made a big mistake in that scene.
Honestly, his death is his own fault, and I stand by that.
Oh
And
my
I
God.
think that he was cheating on her. And I think that that's probably a big part of what they're fighting about in the first place, because those are the vibes that I get from Grieve You, which seems like it was that music video came from before her accident, obviously before the crash. So I think Grieve You is about him, and that song is basically like, say whatever you want. You've been caught before and you've talked your way out of it, but at this point in time, I've already mourned the relationship and I'm over it and I'm actually letting go now. Which, as we see, was like sort of a manifestation for her more than her actual lived reality, because they were still dating until the crash. But I think probably they were kind of on and off.
On and off. Yeah, they have one of those
But I
toxic.
think he was 100% cheating on her. I think at whatever party they were coming from, he probably was either cheating on her there or interacting with women in a way that was boundary crossing, or just was like triggering for her because he's a piece of shit cheater boyfriend. And that is why she's so upset in the car, and that is why they had to like leave early and go home. That's why they're fighting. That's why he's like, you're crazy, because he's trying to gaslight her into being like, I wasn't even doing anything. You're just being crazy again, you crazy bitch. So
What a fucking dick.
I will say, Ray Nicholson does such a great job, and like he looks like he so embodies his dad in The Shining, especially like in that little like in the car scene. It's giving like Jack screaming at Wendy, going cuckoo insane.
Yeah, I love all the horror references in this movie just by way of casting. I mean, having her be on the Drew Barrymore show, that is so iconic, and then having Jack Nicholson's son, that is so cool. Maybe there's more, and I'm sorry if I'm not giving them their shouts. And Lukas Gage, horror king, young horror king,
Kyle
Kyle
Gallner.
Gallner.
Our man.
It's interesting to me that Ray Nicholson is in this movie also, because not only does he do a fantastic job, and not only have people compared the smile, the titular smile, to sort of like the Kubrick Jack Nicholson in The Shining, like girding over his eyebrows through the door, but also because he was in another movie called Borderline, where he named after the mental health disorder, where he is obsessed with a pop star played by Samara Weaving, and I screened that movie also to see if it could be a contender for Pop Star Horror Month. And she just doesn't really do any pop starring in it. But I'm glad we got him on the schedule nonetheless, because he's in Smile too, because he deserves to be here. But that movie unfortunately didn't qualify.
Did not. We love her though.
You know what else? I was talking to Danny, who's been on this podcast 2 times before, about this lineup, and he brought up another movie that I don't think any of us even thought about being part of the lineup, because we've kind of said that this genre was invented in 2024 when both Trap and Smile 2 came out.
I've been waiting for people to tell me I was wrong, but I've said it before. I'll say it again.
He said, are you going to do the original pop star horror movie? And I was like, what is that? And he said, Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
Oh my God. You're so right.
Get the Hex Girls in here.
Wow.
Hex Girls. We'll have to do like a
that's like supplemental viewing for everybody at home.
We can do a special Patreon.
Look, if next week's movie is really bad, maybe
well, even if it's bad, we still have to cover it, because come on.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just placing this so interestingly.
We'll
this shit is so itchy. Oh my God. Don't wear like a plastic outfit, by the way. It's not gonna be comfortable.
Why not?
I just don't like you should do it. Oh my God, he was in Promising Young Women. Ray Nicholson.
Oh, interesting.
And Novocaine and Licorice Pizza, which I didn't know I've seen those. And he's in Adults, and he's in The Beauty. He's been doing a lot of shit. I was like, he's been in 3 things. He's been in like 40 things. He's been in 26 things, actually, exactly, because I'm on his IMDb. It says the number right here.
Oh, helpful.
So helpful. I love that. Yeah, but a lot of good familiar faces too. I want to shout out Peter Jacobson, who plays Morris. I always like looking at that man's face whenever I see him. And I don't know, I feel like
Taub from House.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Because for a second,
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck is Morris? But I recall
Wait.
now.
Okay, Pin and Morris really quickly. We talked about the car crash, the gala really quickly, and then let's talk about Morris. Just want to say that the gala is the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life, and that was the most painful part to watch, and nobody's face even ripped off.
Yeah.
It was just like the secondhand embarrassment of that moment was just too much to be seen, and then she literally punches a granny and kills her by accident. And then I think that actually happened. I think she did actually
really
smash
accidentally
that granny.
throttle that granny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make an argument that it didn't happen, and I'd be willing to hear it, and I can get into that later in terms of the larger what's real and what's not conversation.
Yeah.
But I think it is very possible that that is real, and I think that that is one of the real examples that we see of her mom and her team pushing her beyond her limits, and showing the like grounded reality of where those like heightened fears that really come out and more clearly entity ways later on, like where that comes from, because she's saying like, I know it's for charity. I know we need to keep Darius happy because he's from the studio or the label or whatever, the people who put up money. So we need to keep him happy. And I know that this is for underprivileged youth, and this would go like a long way towards rehabbing my image, essentially, after all of this shit that I've been in lately. But like,
it's not
I
gonna
am
do it if
not well enough to be on stage in front of people. And they make her do it anyway. They put her in a position where she can't possibly say no. And then she gets up there, and it is understandably a shit show because she's not a stable person. And even spotting Paul in the audience as a smile demon aside, and the teleprompter thing, like, we know in reality, because it has his name in there at one point, we know that what we see on the teleprompter is not necessarily the reality of what is on the teleprompter. But that could have, there could really have been a technological glitch, and then it's like, what is she gonna do? She's vamping. She doesn't know what to talk about. She doesn't know what to say. Nobody's prepped her for this. She just got thrown into this because they were like, you don't even have to do anything other than read the teleprompter. Things don't go right sometimes. Sometimes there are glitches.
She is feeling very unstable. She's like, oh yeah, it's crazy that I'm up here after all this bullshit that I've done, and the music industry is literally killing me, so be careful, children. You might be killed by the music industry.
She's like,
just not the best, most inspirational speech.
Music offers hope, and music gave me hope. And I thought that if I could have music, then every ugly part of myself would be healed. Turns out, by the way, that's not true. And now my life is being actively destroyed by this industry and the pressures of success. So great. It's a good thing. Like, she's clearly not able to be up there talking about her life or herself in any kind of meaningful way. And they just push her too much because everybody's career is tied to hers.
Yeah. I get it. It's not convenient timing that all of this is happening. It's just so hard. It's just like, oh, the glasses popped off my head. That was the demon. But like they don't even take the time to like try to hear her out. But again, we don't have the full context. We just have the framework of the context of what shit she was up to. You know, and you know it's got to be really fucking bad just based on the little tidbits we do see, which isn't even the half of it. So,
and I think we see, I think before this scene is like part of the meet and greet where she's signing things for people. So we see to some degree why they think she has the ability to be like interacting with people and holding it together. There's not immediate reason to believe that she's going to fall apart the second they put her up there. But there's enough reason to understand why she might, that it's like they shouldn't have pushed, especially after whether the scary guy at the meet and greet is like that is enough of a scary experience on its own. We see her like brush it off in the moment and go back to signing things, and then she signs for the little girl played by Sydney in this moment. Sydney, let me sign your t-shirt.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah, you're a little girl, Sydney. Don't do that.
Give him that smile.
But like the idea of someone needing to be dragged away from you, screaming at a meet and greet is unsettling enough that they're just nobody has any grace for her anymore. And maybe it's because she's literally burned all possible goodwill, but it's really tough to see.
Yeah, it's really tough to see.
I will say though, Alfredo was kind of working with something when he was in her apartment naked. Just saying.
Thank you, Sydney.
I don't know those undies. Those undies are pretty disgusting.
The undies were
The shit
vile,
undies
but
were so they really just went there. I was like, this poor Alfredo. They needed him Alfredo sauce. He had too much Alfredo sauce, and then he
it's
shat
why
his
they
pants.
gave him a big dick. They were like, okay, he's
Why
got
did I not
We
acne.
gave him a
his
skin
dick.
disorder and greasy hair. You kind of see it in the dark.
Yeah, you can see it.
I didn't clock
so
it as big,
much.
but I believe that Sydney paid more attention than I did to his dick.
I was catching print, literally.
She was looking.
I was locked in. Me and the entrepreneurial
print.
demon knew what was going on.
They're like, I'm gonna give this man a frighteningly large cock on top of everything else, just to add to the horror of this moment. Where you're
The
like, oh my
horror's
god, he shit his
present.
pants, but his dick is so big. I'm so confused.
He does not
Anyway,
wipe his ass, and it's because
Morris.
he knows he has
Oh
a
my
big dick.
God.
He doesn't need to.
He doesn't wipe his ass because apparently men don't know how to wipe their ass. I know that's not true, men.
It's
A lot
better
of
not
them
be
don't
true
know.
sometimes. It is
It's a
true
lot of
sometimes.
them don't.
Men should. Everyone should wipe their ass. I think it's something that you should learn early on in life and continue doing the whole time. But don't give yourself a hemorrhoid. Morris. Talk about Morris. So I was reading some stuff online where some people were like, "Is Morris real, or is Morris?"
I think it's a
not
question.
real? I don't know the answer, but I feel like he is real because, well, it's hard because why did Gemma, the fake Gemma, drive her all the way out to fucking middle of nowhere, Staten Island? Sorry, Staten Island. You're not in the middle of nowhere. You're at Staten Island. But
You're
like,
very close to a major metropolitan area.
why would Gemma drive her out there to meet Morris? That's what makes me think. That is a thought I'm having right now. I was like, Morris is real. Because I saw this take that was like, Morris is real because the demon made it look like her phone was getting all those calls from
I saw
CAA
that.
and her mom and Darius and blah 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 to try to distract her from what Morris was saying. And like, there are people out there who, I don't know. I think that he is real. I just don't know why Gemma would drive her out to him unless they were gonna try to get her to entrepreneurial demon him.
Well, what
And
if
maybe that was the
is
point?
real, but her like meeting up with him is real and doing all this stuff, but like her being with him, like she thinks she's going to like save herself, but like that's all fake.
Yeah, I would say the
that
argument
meetup itself is real. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he's real.
Is not
he
real.
Understands, but like when she's like in the freezer at the old Pizza Hut, like that's all fake.
I think that there's no way to know for sure.
Yeah.
But the proof that I sort of glom onto that he is real is that she texts with him. In the same way that the texts to Gemma are real and they can be like referenced on her phone later, the texts with him are back and forth and real.
Yeah.
But she also hallucinates the phone call with Gemma, but also it's like, well, we don't see a call from Gemma on her phone log later, you know what I mean? So it's like that there's not something tangible that can be, it's one of those things where it's like you can't trust anything that your eyes are seeing. So
No,
could
which
go either
makes
way. It
it
could go
frustrating.
that it's these phone calls are distracting her from information the smile demon doesn't want her to have. It could be that Morris was never real, and that's another aspect of the smile demon who likes to play with its food and likes to go, oh, you thought you won? Oh, you thought you had a way around this? Well, I was just keeping you busy until I had you where I wanted you. So it can really go either way. Oh, you thought you were driving out to Staten Island? That's because I let you think that so that you wouldn't be able to interfere with what was actually happening, which is that I was getting you ready for a big concert. So I don't, it's one of those things because again, to go back to like, did the gala really happen? I think I've decided personally for me, yes. But you can, there's a read on this movie where the gala didn't happen and the meeting with Morris didn't happen, and all the people at the bar being like, oh, she knocked that lady over, I watched the video 500 times, is like another aspect of like you're getting caught
It's so
in
ridiculous.
this delusion. You can't trust what you're seeing. And just real quick, I'm going to insert another back to talking about the cast. Her mom is played by Rosemary DeWitt, who's been also in horror things. She's in the
I had a
Poltergeist
feeling
remake.
she'd be a horror person. Anyway, keep going.
But what she's really in that feels relevant is United States of Terra, which is the Toni Collette show where she has dissociative identity disorder. And there are some really good moments in that show where it's like, oh, you thought you could trust what you were seeing? No.
Well, okay. Now I'm starting to think, because my whole thing with all this, I'm like, why the fuck would demon disguised as Gemma drive her all the way out to Staten Island to meet with Morris if that was a real thing that could potentially work or whatever? Well, it's starting to make me think that that whole thing was fucking fake. That whole part of it, like you were just saying, was fake because and maybe that whole night and whole everything, she could have been in a fugue state for hella long because we literally see her get fully taken over right when all of the dancers get her.
Ugh, the dancers.
The dancers are so scary, but like it takes a really long time to get ready for a show. I guess it was supposed to be a whole day that she was supposed to sleep in the I don't know, rehab place that they took her to. So it wasn't like the show was that night. I don't know. That's it's frustrating to not know.
Yeah, it's really hard to track time.
Wasn't that I think is a detractor of this movie for me. In the first one, I felt like he could get control, but like you still lived in reality, and so like that's almost scarier to me. But like as a viewer, it's like frustrating to just be like, okay, everything I just watched was fake. I mean, it's a movie, so whatever, the whole thing's fake. If you really want to go there. Sorry, the entrepreneurial demon isn't real. Can you imagine if he was? It'd be terrible.
No!
You should be happy right now. You should be happy right now. You don't want a demon with that sort of spirit. But like, I don't know. It's just like annoying. It's just like we just went to fucking Staten Island for what? And for what? You know?
I hear you. I do think I think there's so many good twists with it that I enjoy in this movie that it feels worthwhile to call into question literally everything that I see for the most part. And I think there is some in-universe logic to it. To go back to the conversation of like, there's so much of Skye's daily life that is like there for the smile demon to be munching on that it makes sense that it takes over so much more of her life than it did for Rose in the first movie.
That makes sense to me too.
But I also agree that it is a little frustrating to be like, okay, so did any of this happen? Because it's like she leaves the bar with him. She like goes straight from the gala to the bar basically because she's texting him. She like wakes up at home or whatever and is texting him like, I need help. She goes to meet up with him. She's recognized, so she's running out, and she's also like, "You want to kill me? You're a stranger. I'm leaving." And she goes home, and then that is when she has like the whole delusion. She she drinks her whole Voss water, as she so often does.
Ugh.
That was my
Um,
favorite part of this movie is that it's sponsored by Voss Water, and then it was before you know that why it's happening. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I remember watching it with you and being like, "What the fuck is going on? Like this is the most overt, strange, like in your face
The
product
weirdest product
placement I have
placement.
ever seen." And then I was like, "Oh, it has a plot relevant thing." And it's the
Yeah.
glass water bottles. Like, what other bottles are the glass water bottles besides those? Well, there's other ones. I'm not going to list brands of
There's
water.
so many.
I think it is one of those things where at first it seems like the most ridiculous product placement you've ever seen, and then like Monica saying, it has like it relevancy to the plot and the fact that like a glass water bottle can fall and break, and that's spooky glass breaking.
Also, Voss feels like the fanciest water,
I agree.
and it
I
adds
feel
to
like
her being rich and famous.
I feel like that's one of the rumors about like Dwayne the Rock Johnson, is that like he only drinks Voss, and he has crates traveling with him when he goes somewhere on location and he doesn't know he can get it.
Clinking.
Yeah. And also it feels like a good weird celebrity she is a celebrity, you know what I mean? It feels like a good
Yeah.
weird celebrity detail to be like, her rider says she only drinks Voss water and she needs you to have 60 of them on hand at any given moment. And then the in-universe explanation also of like, my therapist told me to do this because it will help like ground me in a moment, or like break whatever immediacy of the urge that I have to drink or to use. It's like something disruptive to like redirect like the physical nature of my body. But it is hilarious the way that she just opens her throat and drops the whole bottle
glug.
down. Yeah. And
Truly
I
a glug
bought
glug
one
moment.
to have a prop, and I was gonna chug it, but they're so fucking, look how big this is. This is way too, I don't know how she's doing it. And there's something
she's
on
able
What's
to
the
get
fill?
that entire fist in her mouth also. So like maybe
That's
she's
true.
just really good at things.
And I bet she is. And I bet
That's
she
why she's so good
is.
at singing, because she's got control of the throat.
Yep.
Those muscles are she's the boss of them for sure.
For sure.
But Naomi Scott, the actress, there's a thing on IMDb trivia that's like, she really did that, by the way, and she also was surprised at how uncomfortable it was to do. So that's incredible. But it's like she
Does
goes
her
home
own
from the
stunt.
bar, she trashes her bathroom, and then immediately when she's like going out into the other room is when it's the Cirque du Soleil from hell, and then it's like she passes out when they're all grabbing her and wakes up in the mental health facility, where it's like, oh, we found you at home. But again, it's established by the end of the movie that whole scene in the mental health facility does not exist, is not real, presumably, because otherwise, if she was, we know parts of it aren't real because we see her mom at the concert. And so presumably, even if she really was there and then escaped, her mom wouldn't be like, yay, she's on stage now, so it's all fine. It's like, so none of that was real. So
None of that was real.
how much that came before that is also not real.
Exactly. I mean, I'm so glad she didn't actually kill her mom, because that shit was horrible. Or like
That
her mom killed
scene-
herself. That shit was
Yeah.
fucked. But like
You mentioned
the demon can't. Well, okay. Then it doesn't matter. Whatever I was gonna say doesn't matter, because he can do whatever he wants, because none of it is real and it's all an illusion.
In their head.
So I just
Yeah.
pissed myself off. So what were you gonna say?
Well, one thing to your point is a little bit like, yeah, the demon can do whatever it wants to torture her to bring her to its lowest point before it finishes her off. So it's like there is reason to believe that it would like kill her mom and then make her think that she did it, or make her do it and then make her realize too late that she did it, just to be like, aren't things really bad now? But also it made me think of, you mentioned Freddy earlier, Freddy Krueger, Mr. Krueger himself. That scene made me think of Dream Warriors, the opening with young Patricia Arquette when the mirror, where she like smashes it. She's like trying to fight Freddy, I think, and then she realizes she's like hurting herself actually when it like snaps back to reality.
They're definitely
So that
drawing
felt
on
like a
some
real,
Freddy Krueger shit with this, but it's less
yeah,
silly, goofy, and more rip your face off, and then
more
it goes
terrifying,
splop, splop on the
disgusting.
ground like 20 times.
Yeah.
Nasty. Um, are we? There's a lot to go over, but like, are we at the end? I think we are.
I know we've talked about it already. I just want to say I think the Gemma reveal in the car is incredible.
So
it
good.
rocked my shit the first time. Yeah. It rocked my shit the first time I saw it in theaters. And it is, again, like we've been saying, the entity loves to play with its food. It is so happy to just string you, both torture you, but also just like string you along and let you think that you are getting anywhere and that you are making progress before it goes, oh, that is so cute that you thought you stood a chance.
You dumb fucking bitch.
It is so cute that you even thought that you could. And so it is so devastating to be like this person who was your grounding person, who made you feel safe, who is the person that like you want sleeping in bed beside you. I let you think that not only that you had them for comfort, but that they would ever forgive you, when the reality is when they finally call you back a week later, they're like, hey girl, I don't know if we're ready to be cool or not, but there's enough history here that I like want to know what's going on with you. But I'm not ready to bury the hatchet. Because you called me a stupid social climbing cunt or something like that. Stupid like cunt is definitely the framework of whatever was said.
No, it's like you can care about someone and not want them to be smile demoned, but also not wish to rekindle that relationship.
I don't want you to flame out in any capacity regardless, but also I gotta protect my own peace.
100%. 100%.
It's so devastating.
Such a fucking devastating.
And especially because it's like Gemma's driving the car, you know. Who's driving the car? It's like she looks down at her phone.
Gemma's here, and I'm talking to Gemma. Who's driving this car?
Also, it's like, okay, Skye, this whole thing has been about like, oh, Skye is a bad person. She's been horrible to so many people. In her songs, because I've listened to her songs 100,000 times now, and they are really good. But in her songs, she's like, I am bad and I corrupt everyone around me, and my brain is broken, and it is only a matter of time until I do something horrible and I'm the villain. And that's what she says in that moment. It's like Gemma is driving her away from the hospital in this like crazy emergency moment where she doesn't have the full picture, but then Skye tells her like, pull over, I want you to get out of the car because I don't want you to be around me and get hurt. Like, everyone who's around me gets hurt, and I love you so much and I value you so much and you mean so much to me that I want to spare you from that, even though I also want to be selfish and like have your help and have you with me. I want to save you. Get out of the car. And then Gemma's like, no, ride or die, and like I mean it, and I'm staying with you no matter what. And then it's like, actually, she was never there in the first place. It's like, it's so heartbreaking.
It's so heartbreaking. That shit, that was like it was such a good reveal. I mean, it was a really good reveal. It just, everything being a lie all the time gets a little grating, but that was an incredible reveal.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead. Sid. Oh, I was gonna, if you have something to say about the Gemma thing, keep going, because I was then gonna be like, I loved the metaphor of her fighting herself at the very end.
Well, also the metaphor in the car with Gemma when she's like, I have control, and then she's the one driving. But yeah, the ending scene.
Right, where she's just like, her old self drops on her.
Yes.
I was like,
that ending.
This is great.
her like coming to, and she's already on the fucking stage, and she's standing there dumbstruck, like, oh fuck, I'm on the stage, what do I do? And to the whole audience, they're like, wow, she's so moved to be back. You know, they're like, oh, I know her so well, she's so moved to be back here. um but then, unfortunately, there are two qualms that I have, that I always have, and I will always have for forever. I think that Smile has the dumbest creature design in the entire fucking world. There are aspects of it that are scary. I love the big long body and the weird arms and all of that shit. And they're tall or whatever. We all love someone who's 6'5". But I hate the googly eyes. The boo-boo googly eyes make the part in the fucking freezer room earlier with the goo-goo boobly eyes. Also, what did I just say? I don't know. No one knows.
The goo-goo
There,
boo-boo?
it's
The goo-goo boobly eyes.
boobly eyes. They're boobly eyes. No, I don't like. I think it looks stupid and it pisses me off.
It looks like I don't remember. Oh, The Hides from Wednesday on Netflix. How they have those like
yes.
big what did you call them? Goo goo boobly eyes. They have those
Goo
like
goo
goo
boobly
goo
eyes.
boobly eyes.
Yeah. It reminds me of, and this is why they're doing it, but there's this like whole subgenre of horror shorts on at least Instagram Reels. Sorry, I'm a grandma. I'm not on TikTok, so this is where I see it. And they all like have these like, you know, computer graphics that people can do. Like I'm not saying they're not talented, but it's like it's not the best computer graphics you've ever seen in your entire life because they're like doing it for a 30-second video or whatever. And they had this like distorted human face type of thing where it's like definitely a human's face, and then they went made the eyes bigger, made the mouth go wow, real long, too big, too open. That is exactly what this looks like. But this has a multi-million-dollar budget. And that's what it looks like still. And that makes me angry. And it's another point towards don't show me the thing because I'm going to criticize you. Because I think that probably works really well for other people. But every time we get to the climax of these movies and they finally show me the goddamn beastie, I am like, I wish I didn't have to look at him because it always takes me out of it. Makes the ending super hokey for me. Last movie, this movie too. Even though this ending still serves cunt in my opinion, I have to close my eyes when they get too close to the monster's face.
I think that's very fair. I think that's very fair.
Personal
me,
maybe.
They do enough work of horrifying you that the creature design is like so secondary to everything else that it's just there to be spooky. It doesn't bother me. I mean, the goo goo boobly eyes, that part is a little silly. But again, it is one of those things where it's like they've done so many scares.
Yeah.
That
you're kind of it, but it's a huge detractor for me. It's a distraction, big distraction from the serving sleigh cunt. What am I saying? Boots house down. That is happening.
Boots house down
on the stage.
But even before the stage, I want to go back to the fight in the freezer for a second.
Oh, go back to the
freezer,
right.
It is so incredible. And I had to like rewatch it to see what the transition was a couple of times. This part of my Morris isn't real argument is that like why would he just like leave her in the freezer and walk out and not come back? But that is partially solved by the proposition that it's like the Pizza Hut part could be fake and the bar meeting with Morris could be real. So you can have a halfsy. But when she's in there alone, only with Car Crash Skye, like when Skye, it's that moment for 1 second, like you think she's won. They do the same thing in the first one. In the first one, the ending is like she goes to her old house and confronts her trauma, and it's like the demon is like, you're stuck in your mind, you can't escape your mind, which is where I am. And she's like, but it's my mind and you're stuck here too. And then she like lights him on fire, and then she drives home to Joel's house, and then Joel is revealed to be Smile Demon, and it's like she runs out of a doorway in Joel's house only to find that she's like still at her house, and she's run out the front door, she turns around, house is behind, you know what I mean? There's no escaping it. So in this one, it's the same kind of thing where it's like she it's got its thumbs in her mouth making her smile, and then she bites down on them and it's like, no, like, I have power here. You think for a second like she really might do it. She gets the syringe, she stabs herself, you see her getting like woozy, she looks down, she's holding the syringe, but then the smile demon is like, none of this is real. And she looks down and there's no syringe. But it's like that part, great. What I really like is when it's like walking her towards the door and she's like retreating towards the doors of the freezer, but you can kind of see it looks weird behind her because it's actually a set piece that they introduced way earlier in the movie that like
The
is like
egg.
a cocoon. Yeah, the egg
Oh,
or
yeah,
cocoon
it's a
that she like
cocoon.
comes
Because she's
out
a butterfly.
of because she's
Not
a
an
butterfly.
egg.
It's like you see her and it looks at first like you can't even really tell what it is, and then it's like putting her in the cocoon, and then music video car crash, Skye like closes the doors on her, and like that's what she emerges from. Like it's such an excellently done transition of like how it like pushes her from one scene to another.
They just keep that fucking momentum going. And that is exactly precisely where I paused it. So I ruined that for myself, unfortunately. And I went to sleep and then I woke up. But there is really good momentum there.
Maybe the smile demon design would be more immersive for you. Well, you saw it once in theaters. How much more immersive can you
girl,
get?
I just don't like it. It's
She saw it
okay.
in
I just don't
4DX.
like it.
She saw it in
I
4DX.
just don't
they spin
think
her
it's
upside
good.
down.
Okay, but it was
I-
really funny when her, like, the smile demon was coming out of the other Skye Riley, and she's literally just, like, flopped near its
That
ass.
was funny. Oh my god, the gore is just goes crazy. The gore is so disturbing, and I loved the choice of having us watch the audience and their reactions to Skye literally impaling herself in the eye with a microphone. This kind of a vibe. Instead of us seeing her do it, because we already watched Lukas Gage rip his whole face off earlier, you know, like we did do that this movie. We don't need to do it twice.
That is so disgusting and good with the weight. He just
Oh my god, and
smashes
the
himself.
face sloughing off is so disgusting. But like instead to flip it around and have us see just the full scale of the amount of people that are experiencing this trauma, thousands of people, and then to just have her flop to the ground with the microphone in her eyes. I thought that was just a brilliant choice, and it was very well done. And it was such a fucking gotcha moment. Like, what an ending. Like, again, I'll probably hate Smile 3 because then the scope is way too fucking big. Unless they fucking slay it. And hey, I'm going to go see it no matter what because this one was so fun. But wow, like just crazy what it can mean. I just don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how. But I don't write movies. That's not my job.
I'm super curious about it because Smile and Smile 2 are both so entrenched in one person's experience. And I think it is possible that if you're doing a bunch of people's experiences, you're going to lose the immediate horror of being right there along with that person. I also think if you're only following one person, it kind of takes away the impact of Skye passing the curse in a stadium full of people. I'll be very curious to see if we get an answer to, is anyone susceptible to the curse or only people who have like a huge trauma in their past? I am going to link in the notes a Screen Rant article that I don't fully agree with, but they're purporting that it is like survivor's guilt specifically. And again, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think maybe it's just like a huge trauma in your past. But I'll be curious to see, like, will everyone in that auditorium be affected? Did it want Skye and the audience to just know that like there will be someone here for sure who is like so juicy delicious? And so it has its like choice picking of all of these people instead of like having to go with the person that they can get logistically. Are they going to get a whole bunch of people? It's it makes me think of like It Follows, where you pass it person to person. It can only be passed to one person at a time, presumably. I mean, we've never seen anybody in
is
that
it gonna
franchise have a
be
threesome.
he?
But
They
who
Follows is coming out soon
double
too.
penetration. That's what that movie starts with. Write it down now.
Wait,
but
but
go ahead.
well, no, you finish. You were
In
in
Cold Storage, it's kind of a similar parasite thing, but its nature is like a fungal infection. Is like one person can be the host and explode onto a bunch of people. Now everybody who got exploded on can be infected because it's not necessarily like one entity. And we perceive it in this movie as like one entity when it climbs inside her, but we don't necessarily know like how it replicates. Are there a bunch of them out there? Is it like it's having a baby each time?
Is it gonna be like, spoiler alert, Final Destination Bloodlines, where one incident happened and then death has been going down the line ever since? Are they gonna have to go one by one to try to get all of these people? Like, how does that work? Like,
it can get all of them, but one at a time.
They're gonna have to be really fucking careful if they're gonna impress me, because I hate it when they make the lore this fucking huge. This is why you don't do it. It's all about me. If they make the lore this huge, then it can fall apart so easily, because you have to be able to like make the laws make sense to me, or like, if it doesn't make sense, then it pisses me off. It makes me go grrr, and I don't like
agree.
it. So
I think it's like a really interesting, powerful ending. Yes. To go like, whoa,
but did they kill their
what
franchise?
Does this mean? For them to have to actually answer the question of what it means, it's like, are you going to come up with a satisfying answer?
Yeah. Woof. Woof. Okay. Well, are we ready for our
segmentos?
By the way, on Spotify, shouts out to the girlie who commented and was like, were there no segmentos this time? There were segmentos, but she said the word segmentos, and I thought that you would like that, Sydney. She's out there.
I'm just saying, the people love the segmentos, Chelsea.
She loves the segmentos, so shouts
like
out to her.
The segments. I just don't love the segmentos.
We don't have segments, we have segmentos, Chelsea.
I can't have segmentos. I'm drinking.
How could this movie be there? I can't hear you over the sound of my pride.
Okay, gay stuff. I think that Skye is very obviously repressing it, perhaps to herself, but very obviously in love with Gemma romantically. I don't know that Gemma feels the same way. I think Gemma might feel platonically, because even hallucination Gemma is not really giving I'm in love with you, Skye. But I think that Skye is in love with Gemma. Maybe that's part of why her relationship with Parker Hudson is so toxic. I think that is also part of why she pushed her away, because again, it's like, not only are you going to call me out on my bad relationship, but if I get too close to you in a way that I can't take back, then and also like, I'm a pop star. Can I be out as a pop star? I think she's just like, there's so much going on in her life that she's just like ignoring that, but she's in love with Gemma.
Mm-hmm. I agree. No, that's a queer woman right there. And she's being a cunt because she was repressing it. And that's what happens sometimes.
Look at her hair in this movie. It's like not just a breakup haircut. It's like she went full pixie cut bleach. That's giving
she gay was having hell. A Miley moment.
She was hiding super hardcore until her car crash. And now she's been going to therapy and trying to reckon with things. She's still not fully able to admit to herself that she's in love with Gemma, but she's able to admit to herself to some degree that she's queer, which is why she has a gay haircut.
No, it has nothing to do with the fact that she rips her hair out for a living. At all. All of those scenes were really, 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 really impossible for me to watch, by the way.
Yeah. So, it made me think it was slanted a little bit too, since we just did that movie.
Yeah. what else was I going to say? This
Reach
also goes
over,
into the
like,
fact of
oof.
why she hates her assistant so much, Joshua.
Joshua.
Because if that ain't an out gay man, there isn't an out gay man in the world. So yes, he is an out gay man, and she hates him because she can't be out herself. She's an asshole to him
jealous.
because she's like, how dare you be out here with your fucking Justin Timberlake ass blonde hair. Sorry, no, he rocks it though. Justin Timberlake can't have it. Joshua can have it.
Joshua, when he's being a smile demon, so it's not real Joshua, but when smile demon Joshua is like smiling down the hallway at her like that is also giving a little bit Kid Cudi as the thinker in Trap when he's like flipping
yeah.
his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's also giving that exact smile. Kid Cudi in Smile 3 when?
The thinker.
The thinker in Smile
The
3
thinker.
when?
We need a crossover. Bring the thinker back.
The thinker would
Lady
have a
Raven.
great collab.
Lady Raven is investigating what happened to Skye Riley because she's a detective, as we all know.
I would watch it.
Of
I would
course.
watch it. I would be sat in the front row, even if there were no tickets left, I would be in the front row, and you know how I hate that.
There's all those posts that's like Lady Raven's fandom and Skye Riley's fandom would be at war with each other. I agree, but also Smile 3 is Lady Raven investigating all of these mysterious deaths of people who attended a Skye Riley concert. That's how you have one central viewpoint, but 1,000 deaths.
No, they have to do
Griffin,
something
call
like that. It has to be somebody on the outside trying to figure it out. It has to be. Well, he's
and
not
that
doing
someone,
it. So
Lady Raven.
is Chelsea Duff. There you go.
Well, I think he might be writing it. He's just not directing it.
Oh, okay.
We'll see. I don't know.
Any other gay thoughts we'd like to share?
So many more gay thoughts.
Okay. Matthew Lillard. Where does he go? He could be Morris so easily and so fantastically.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I don't love Peter Jacobson. I just said that I do.
Yeah. He could be Darius, the tour manager.
Yeah.
And I would love to see him being Smile Demon, you know? And you need to see him doing that smile.
Imagine if he's not, it's not a mom and it's a dad figure for Skye Riley and it's Matthew Lillard. I think that would be a really good role for him. Show dad, Matthew Lillard. Those are my favorites. But yeah, I had to see that smile from him. He would slay it. Then dumb bitch.
Let's get him in Smile 3.
We have to. He's on a
He brought
he's on
his
a tear
daughter
right
to the
now.
concert.
He's on a fucking
I love a
tear
trap
right now.
smile.
There's no
They should
way.
be French kissing.
Yeah. There's no way that he's not going to be in this movie. I'll see to it myself. Dumb bitch.
I'm writing. Monica's directing. She's pulling in Matthew Lillard for the cast.
Yeah.
We had a very special connection just recently, so in my mind, I'm just waiting. He's gonna like that post that you did for my birthday.
He's gonna circle back.
I'm checking every day. Okay, you know how celebrities sometimes don't check for a while.
Yeah.
Just saying. Matthew, it's okay. Take your time, honey. It's all right. I got all the time in the world. Dumb bitch.
Ultimately, I think Parker Hudson is a dumb bitch for calling his girlfriend crazy when
Baby,
she's already
it's Paul.
not doing well. Paul Hudson?
Hand to God. Hand to God looking at it right now.
But you're right.
Parker Finn is the director.
Oh,
yeah.
And he didn't name that character after himself, the dumbest bitch in the whole movie?
Paul,
That's really weird.
It's Paul Hudson.
Yeah, I've been calling him Parker this whole time.
You were calling him Paul at first, and then you started calling him Parker.
Oh.
And every time you said Parker, I said Paul, and you just didn't hear me.
And I went, I'm powering through. Nobody can get me off track. I have something to say.
There's Monica talking to herself again, muttering Paul.
I don't know what she's on about. Back to my thing.
Goo goo boobly eyes. Who knows?
Goo goo boobly eyes. Yeah. I think it's Paul Hudson.
Yeah. He's pretty dumb.
I'm like willing to give the mom a small nomination, but it's tough because the most dumb bitch we see of her is in the mental health facility scene where we quickly discover that it's not really her. And so it's like, is that accurate to things that she would say, or are these like Skye's deepest fears about how she feels and what she would say? And it's a projection of Skye's inner thoughts rather than a reflection of the reality of who her mom is, it's hard to nail it down, but I think we can safely trust the flashbacks to be the reality of that situation. And Paul did not handle it well.
No.
I would like to make a very small, because the plan is smart. Joel at the beginning for accidentally murdering
I
the
agree.
guy he was gonna pass
It was
onto.
such a bitch move.
Yeah, like
I'm with you.
just like a small. His plan was good,
But then when you go and you shoot the guy that you were trying to pass the demon to, that is just
kind of
you're
a
shooting
dumb
yourself
bitch.
in the foot. You're shooting him and
Mhm.
yourself in the foot, all in
Yeah.
one shot.
That's
Okay,
because he's a cop.
great noms, but he's so sexy.
So
Anyway,
sexy.
moving on to knives out of fives. Chelsea, go ahead, girl.
Would you like the larger picture on this movie first, or would you like me to refresh your memory with what we rated Smile?
We can do the
this one first, and then what we rated
Okay,
the other
right
one
before
and
we
then,
rate.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
because
okay,
I'll
okay,
forget
okay,
in the
okay. Yeah, yeah,
intervening
yeah.
moments.
yeah.
So this movie on IMDb got a 6.7 out of 10. And if you're like, that seems a little low, well, don't worry. On Rotten Tomatoes, it had 86% fresh from critics and 81% fresh from audiences. It also did a little bit of the awards circuit, no major awards, but some like Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, yeah, so like some major horror awards. But in terms of like the general awards landscape, the one I pulled in my notes is the 2025 Critics' Choice Super Awards, because I always think the Critics' Choice Awards is interesting context, but this is the Critics' Choice Super Awards, which, as I can tell, is sort of like genre specific to a lot of the cinematic stuff that kind of gets overlooked in terms of the regular awards season awards, because they don't always fit like neatly into the categories, like superhero movies and stuff like that. That's where the super comes from. And at the 2025 Critics' Choice Super Awards, Naomi Scott was nominated for Best Actress in a Horror Movie. And I bring that up because she gave such an incredible performance. The producers really wanted to push her for like Oscar conversation, basically. And I think that is the world would be open to that in theory. IMDb trivia was like, it was just like so stacked that year. And if you look at the 2025 Critics' Choice Super Awards Best Actress in a Horror Movie alone, it's a stacked category because that year was like Demi Moore in The Substance, Sally Hawkinson, Bring Her Back, Willa Fitzgerald in Strange Darling, Wunmi Masako in Sinners, and Lily Rose Depp in Nosferatu. Like that alone, horror specific, is like a crazy competition.
Why? That is not
already
right with the years.
I think it must take place at a weird time in the year where it's like you're getting a little from here and a little from there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's got to be in like June or something.
Bring
so
Her
you're
Back
getting like
came out in June of last year. Sinners came out in April of last year. And this movie came out in October of 2024.
I don't know.
End of 2024, early 2025. That's
Let me.
that
And
seems all
Sinners
kind
won
of-
the Oscar just 1 month ago. Like what? That's so weird. It's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. We don't have time. Just drop it. We're moving on.
Okay, our knives for Smile. For Smile, Sydney gave it a 3.5 knives out of 5. Monica gave it a 3 knives out of 5. And I gave it a 3.8 knives out of 5.
Yeah. I mean, I think across the board, this is depending on what you're looking for in a horror movie. If you like the smaller story and you like the folkness, because this is described as folk horror, that hashtag is all over it. The first one is definitely more of a folk horror movie. This is not, it still has that same like bread and butter, but it's like literally the lore at the very base of the pyramid here. But like outside of that, like it's glitz, it's glamour, it's I'm wearing this headdress. Like, come on, it's not folk horror in any way anymore. And like
It's no longer sepia toned, it is now sparkly sequin.
exactly. I loved that they had those two tonal changes. I thought that was really cool. I thought they were doing some really fun parts with the direction. I thought that this was like larger than life. They took their premise and they fucking did that shit. They did that shit. I believed it. I believe she was a pop star. The production was there. The costumes were there. Like her costumes day to day were there. The set deck, the choreography, so crazy. The set deck for her apartment was super grandiose, like some sort of famous person would have. Like, I believed it. Whereas I couldn't believe to the full extent what we were getting in Trapped because the set design was so lacking. They were way too far. Unfortunately, it was a film from the perspective of the audience. So you're so far away from the stage, you can see everything and see that there's nothing, you know? Like, it's just night and day in those regards. Still love that movie. Whatever. I think the problem with this movie is it's not the problem with this movie, but some problems I have with this movie. There are issues with the lore itself that piss me off. The main reason that I hated Smile so much the first time around is because I think they fucked themselves in the what? With their marketing, because they gave away everything and then there was nothing left. I don't think that they did that for this one, but I also know that I protected myself more. But like they gave you bits and pieces, but they didn't give you the whole fucking scare in the trailers, and that is genius. That's so crazy to not give away your whole entire movie in 3-minute promotional item. Like, thank you for not fucking that up this time around. But I think that they could have trimmed some fat in this movie too, because it did feel a little long at times. I still like all the parts of it, but like once she starts going to Staten Island and all of that and that whole rigmarole, they could have tightened it up a little bit. The Gemma part was so incredible. We already talked about that, but like that's where it started to make me fall asleep this time around. I was sleepy, but I do think this movie would have been better, like a little bit shorter if we could have gotten there, just because it gets a little grueling because it is so visceral. I don't know. I just wish it was a little bit shorter, but it was still amazing. So I gave it a 3 for the first one. This one, I'm going to give it, I don't want to go too high, but I mean, I do love it. I don't think it's perfect, but I think they're really knocking it out of the park. I think I'm going to give it like a 4.3 and then we'll go from there. But like, I don't know. I love it a lot more than a 4.3, but I still get angry sometimes. The goo goo boobly eyes take points away. Goo goo boobly eyes really takes me out.
I do wish that I rewatched the first one because this movie to me still gives a 3.5 out of 5. But like I truly do not remember the first one. Like
fugue state.
Yeah.
So maybe this franchise at all is just like really middle of the road for me. Like I don't hate it, but like I also didn't none of the scares hit for me. And again, this is my first time watching it, and I watched it in my living room. Know what I mean? And like, I am a little harder to scare, but like, I get so scared.
Well, when she turns into a car.
We've all had that experience, Monica. Okay,
look,
she's
Monica, it's tired.
It's tired. Remember when Chelsea turned into a car just last week?
Here's the thing. Sometimes you go to an underground warehouse rave, and the next thing you know, you're behind the seat of your car. Like, sometimes you just become a car. Mm-hmm. It happens, okay? Mm-hmm. you come back into it. Sometimes you go to Coachella and you take 7 acid tabs and a bunch of ecstasy and nothing happens. And then the next thing you know, you're driving back home on a Sunday. And then the next thing you know, you're in downtown Los Angeles, okay? Sometimes it happens. You just become a car.
Sometimes you physically become a car. Christ on a cracker.
It's not that scary. It happens to a girly pop every once in a while.
Christ.
So to clarify, you're sticking with 3.5?
3.5.
Okay. I think that this movie is so much fun. I think it was such an incredible 4DX watch, especially an entry point to 4. Like for this to be my introduction to 4DX was like so knocked it out of the park. Amazing. I don't know, maybe in hindsight, in comparison to some of the other movies I've seen now, I'd be like, that's not the most 4DX movie of all the 4DX movies I've seen. But it so added to the like atmospheric experience of it that it was just incredible. I think it was a good watch at home too. Um, but also, like I said, I watched it this morning at 6 a.m. And I really, because I like this movie, I really did prioritize like I want to sit down, not take any notes. I just want to like watch it in one sitting, not pausing, getting up and doing anything in the middle of it, just like fully like enjoy the film. And that was great. And there was one moment where they didn't fully like make me jump or say anything, but it was close. It was close. And I that like never happens for me. So to me, I'm like, this is so scary. This is so well done. I do think, I mean, I specifically like the type of horror that's like you can't trust your perception of reality because to me that is one of the scariest things. So it
Totally.
works for me, but also I agree that it takes away a little bit from the film that it's like I don't know what happened necessarily. I don't know what here
Yeah.
happened and what didn't. So it's not a perfect 5, but my enjoyment is so high that it's really close. And I went back and I watched the trailer actually because I was curious what was in there and what wasn't. And one thing that I think is really interesting about the trailer is that there's like stuff in there that's not in the movie. Like Alfonso, who's the scary guy at the signing, in the trailer, they have him like approaching with the creepy smile. And that's not the way that he actually is in the movie. So they did some like good misdirection in there. Maybe it's just scenes that were cut, who knows? But there's like stuff in the trailer that's not in the movie. So you're like waiting for something scary to happen that doesn't go the way that you think that it's going to based on what you've seen. Um,
Stop.
and then there are some really big plot points that are in the trailer, like explaining the thing with the freezer at the end that is in the trailer. And again, that scene goes a different direction from what you think it's going to be. So I think the way they utilized the marketing for this really worked and added to the experience. And I don't know yet. I'm a little afraid for Smile 3, but Smile 2 to me, I'm going to give 4.9 because I love her so
Like,
much.
fair. Good. I'm glad. Okay, am I gonna announce the next one?
Wait, should I try and chug this whole Voss?
Yeah.
Do it, do it,
Do
chug,
it.
chug,
Will you
chug,
guys
chug,
chant
chug,
for
chug,
me?
chug,
Yeah.
chug, chug,
Wait,
boss,
oh my
boss,
god,
boss,
it's
boss,
so hard
boss.
to open.
Use that entrepreneurial
Okay,
demon
This
I
spirit.
is
got
Chi
it.
Dog chugging a Voss.
I'm scared. Okay,
Dog. Go, go. Open your throat.
you guys weren't
Chug,
chanting.
Go,
chug,
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 go,
chug. You're
go,
just
go, go.
sipping. Open,
Ugh.
open up. Chug,
Open your
chug, chug, chug,
throat.
chug, 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 chug.
Oh my God, you're
Chug,
doing
chug,
such a good
chug, chug, chug.
job.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That's a
That's
pretty good.
great job. This
I know
bitch is
it took me a second
hydrated.
to get started, but once I did, I was like, wait, we're going. And then I was like, I've drank 2.5 Cokes already so far. It's just a lot of liquid.
Now
She's
she's
gonna
gotta
piss
go
her
pee.
pants.
And I pee later. It's gonna be crazy. You guys should come.
So crazy.
I'll be there.
Oh my god, it's gonna be so
Send me a
fun
Facebook
later.
invite.
It's gonna
I'll
be
be there.
so fun.
I could have kept going, but I was like, what if I go too far and then I puke on camera? That'd be bad. That
First
might be a
puke on
little
camera.
gross. Yeah.
We just had Sydney bleed on camera the other day, so
Yeah.
you know, it's all fine. Anyway, that's it for Smile 2, and I'm so glad. This is like I've just been waiting for this moment for literally 2 years for us to do this movie on the pod, and I feel like we slayed it. So 10 out of 10. And Chelsea really slayed it because she looks exactly like her. Sydney
And I
really
have
slayed
a
it because she
Voss
looks
water.
like the scary girl, and I look like the weirdest bug anyone's ever seen. So how interesting. But next week we're closing out Pop Star Horror Month.
Sad.
And
Ugh.
it's really sad. It is really sad. But hopefully we're going out with a bang. but no one in the world at this time knows. That's not true. I'm sure there's people who've seen early screenings of Mother Mary.
Screamings.
Screamings.
Whoa.
Early screamings. That could bode well.
But did you know that there's an Anne Hathaway horror movie about pop
Psychological
stars?
thriller.
Yeah, it's psychological thriller coming out very soon. It's coming out. Get ready. I'm so excited. So we're going to see it right away when it comes out and bring it straight to y'all. So Mother Mary, I'm excited about it. At the very least, it looks like it's got the production value to the level of this movie, hopefully. And it's about what's her name? I don't have the IMDb up.
Michaela Cole.
Michaela Cole. Michaela Cole is a past collaborator with pop star Anne Hathaway, known as Mother Mary, and does like her costumes and stuff. So I'm very excited for that aspect because I do that shit. As you can tell, I'm a
That's our costume
designer.
bitch over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really excited for this one. I think it'll be fun and hopefully a bangarang to end out Pop Star Horror Month. Or we'll rip it apart, and that will be fun as well. So we shall see next week. But anyway, why don't you say, oh my God, you guys have been serving use a little asterisk. They probably won't let you say the word. Just to be clear. So don't say that. Just do C asterisk NT. Every week for Pop Star Horror Month. And a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We'd love to see it. And I know you think that, so you might as well say it. Put your money where your mouth is. Do it. Also 5-star just rating on Spotify will work too if you're feeling shy and you don't want to use the C word. That's fine. That's your prerogative. But why not follow us on social media? Chelly's out there slaying it with the social media this week. If you want to see some pop star realness all month long, get in there. Follow us. We're at Spooky_Tuesday on pretty much everything except for Facebook and Tumblr, where we're at Spooky Tuesday Pod. Go to spookytuesdaypod.com, one-stop shop for all things Spooky Tuesday. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. You gotta go. You'll also, if you go there, find a link to our Patreon, patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday. And it's a really fun place to hang out and make new friends. You should hang out. We've got a trailer reaction coming out every 2 weeks. It's very exciting. And we're just having fun, making fun of each other, supporting each other, watching movies with each other all day, every day. So get in on that action. And we're also on YouTube. And I already said all the things we usually say now. But we really came out in force today.
Yeah, we slayed.
We did slay. Well, they slayed, and I put on.
She slayed.
Yeah,
I think she slayed.
Thank you.
Cunt.
I've had to. I just want to say that I've
And if
had
you
to
don't
look
want
at
to say
myself
cunt,
for
you
2
can say
hours.
she slayed pussy boots.
Yeah,
You could say that.
That's
probably
the
should put an asterisk
obvious
for the
thing that you
U.
could say instead of saying cunt. She
Yeah,
slayed
pussy
pussy
boots.
boots.
Thank you so much for saying that. I really needed that, so thank you.
Of course.
But anyway, we're on YouTube. Subscribe to us there. It's very fun. You can see all the weird faces that we make the whole time. And try to read my text messages through the reflection on my glasses, which I've been
Oh my God, what a fun challenge.
I was thinking about the whole time. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. One more week of Pop Star Horror Month. We'll see you next Tuesday.
bye, Spookies.
Spooky Tuesday was created by Monica Height, Sydney Thompson, and Chelsea Duff, and edited by Sydney Thompson. Our gorgeously spooky tunes are all thanks to Tamara Simons, who you can follow on Instagram at Great18. That's GR818_. And our podcast art is by Ryan Brom, who you can follow on Instagram at Ryan Brom Art. That's RyanBrommArt. Learn more about Spooky Tuesday at spookytuesdaypod.com and subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/spooky_Tuesday.